Hey, good morning. It's one of those days, those really rainy, cold morning in Quebec. And I wanted to do an RPG video, a topic that is dear to my heart. It's about it's dear to my heart. It is something that I've encountered many times in many different games, and it's the idea of not necessarily parallel universe or parallel realities, but you get the point. If you talk about Shadowrun, you're gonna talk about the Matrix, you're gonna talk about the astral world. If you talk about World of Darkness, well, you depending on the game you play, but anyways, you're gonna have the Umbra, you're gonna have the Other World, you're gonna have the Dreamscape, you're gonna have the Shadowland, you're gonna have all these places. High Umbra, Middle Umbra, Low Umbra, the Gauntlet, all these layers of metaphysical realities. When you play when you play a game where you have these realities in it, and these are just a couple examples, but if you play Cyberpunk 2020, you're gonna have the same kind of thing with the web, and with the internet and all that. I guess in Eclipse phase there is probably something similar there, and in any games, like the spirit world, just if you play a summoning, like in Burning Wheel, if you play a summoner, or if you play a conjurer, like people who deal with these realities and these in RPG, it's a lot of I'm not gonna say it's a lot of problems, but it's a challenge. In terms of narration, it is a challenge. Now, how you want to deal with that, like how you do that, and it's like I've tried many things. When I was playing Shadowrun at the beginning, one of the first advices I had online, and it's crazy how it's a long time ago, because when I remember it today, I'm like, wow, I really dig that. I really dig that advice. It was like, the advice was that I don't remember who said it. It's been too long, but someone told me, well, what you can do is just tell the players not to create these characters. So it was like, okay, so in this game, no hacker in Shadowrun, no hacker, no mages. Yeah, well, this idea of not allowing players to play these kind of characters because you don't want to have to deal with these kinds of realities. I mean, it's a good advice for a new GM who wants to practice, create some basic character and just go with the basic rules, but at the same time, it doesn't give you any service, because you need to practice, you need to learn, you need not to hide from it. So anyway, so I did that, I tried that, and it is what it is. You never get to practice those. You're just pushing forward, you're just pushing the challenge forward, and you're gonna end up having to deal with it one day anyway. The other thing you can do is deal with these moments outside the session. So for example, in World of Darkness there is a in Mage 20 there is a place where they talk about the Blue Book. So I think it's a World of Darkness concept if I'm right. The Blue Book idea is that you take notes when you play of the stuff you will do between sessions, kind of thing, and then you get to talk about that and describe that and decide that and narrate that outside the game, either by email, either by conversation with the GM and some other players, either just by agreeing on terms, and then therefore you don't have to bring the session to a slow pace or down. Nobody's gonna have to wait on you during the session, kind of thing. So you deal with these things outside the session, and you do the Blue Book method, kind of thing. And I did that, and I'm gonna do a little bit of that in Mage right now. I mean, it is what it is. It's not necessarily a bad idea. Not necessarily the best neither, because it's a lot of work. You gotta, it's bookkeeping. You gotta take care of business anyway. So again, you're just pushing it outside the session. So now you're pushing these moments, these events outside the session. So it's just okay. We're gonna do this, but not in the session. So it seems to me like, and there's probably many other ways to go about that. But it seems to me like that it has no place. These are the two most common ways to deal with these realities in games that I've heard. And I tried both, and it seems to me like there is no room, there is no place for these realities in a conventional role-playing game. I think there is a game, there is a campaign setting from Monte Cook called Planescape, I think. It deals exactly with that kind of stuff. And so I think so. It's another one that just got back to me. But yeah, so that's the thing. How do we go about that? Same thing with drugs, right? Like people who try like stuff like salvia, or really hardcore psychedelic drugs where you just go on these trips, in other places. You get in terms of narration, what it does, it's that you get to narrate things that either other people don't see, but like these characters, they don't see it, they don't get to see it. So it's a narration that is kind of egocentric, you know what I'm saying? Like just not in a sense of a pejorative, personality type, but in terms of it's for yourself, only for yourself, and the other don't get to interact with it. And so any character who goes into another realm, who goes into another place, gets to describe it for the other. Everybody hear it at the table, but they have to wait for you to finish your moment before they can start to interact. In terms of interaction, that character who goes into these places, their body is most of the time like he's in a trance or sleeping or something. So they don't interact neither in the physical world. So it seems like it is a little bit of so some people don't mind it. You know, some people they don't care much. They don't. They're gonna deal with it anyway. It's gonna be part of the game, and it's okay. But in other words, it doesn't change the fact that it kind of stopped the game. It stopped the flow of what's going on, no matter what's going on. And to deal with these alternate realities. Now that's one thing. Like just in terms of methodology, just in terms of logistic, that's what it creates. And I'm curious to know how you guys deal with these situations, because to me it feels like it should be part of the hobby in terms, because it's a genre in itself. It has a meaning. It's important. You want to be able to use these alternate realities to have rich, complex worlds. But they can be problematic for your narration. Now, in another line of thoughts, there's the problem of shared imaginative space. Shared imaginative spaces is the idea that it's a psychological idea where, as a group, we narrate stuff together, and it creates a space, a shared narrative space. Like all our narration are contributing to that space, that place where the character grows, character evolves and stuff. It can be physical places, it can be setting, it can be story space, it can be really abstract. But when you start to bring alternate realities in that, the physical world is easy, because the physical world follows the laws of physics. In most cases, you're gonna have some gravitational laws there where people are standing up and walking on 2 feet, so everybody understands each other. And it's not that hard to picture a room. It's not that hard to picture a street. It's not that hard to picture a forest, with elves in it. But when you start to bring abstract stuff like, how does it feel to be in the Matrix? How does it feel to be in the web, the digital web? How does it feel to be... Now it can become really abstract. And I remember I was reading in Shadowrun, I was reading what it is to be in the Matrix, in the internet. And I was trying to figure out, how am I gonna narrate that? And even the book doesn't give you much, They say, okay, give a concept to your software, and when the hacker goes into that software, picture it as the concept of it. And I remember one of the places I described was a backyard, and there was a house, and it was a long backyard, and and the hacker entered by like a small back door in the back of the backyard, and he had to go through the whole backyard, and the backyard was full of dogs, like just guarding dogs, just like pit bulls and stuff. But the pit bulls were just a pixel, and the chain was a small chain of pixels, and it was a pixel of a little bit like Mario Brother, when it's just a big head, big jaw. Anyway, so it's how do you do, how, and then they went in another one, and that one, and and the idea was that, okay, so the other hacker who designed these software, these places, they have personalities, they have life of their own, and they inject it into their design. So one of the dude was like a Dungeons and Dragons fan, a Skyrim fan. So he designed the software that looked like a fucking fantasy world. So now you have to fight dragons to go through through the defense mechanism of the software thing. Anyway, so you know, it ends up. So that's another thing, you know, right? Because the people are asking sometimes, like, how am I supposed to narrate that, and how are we gonna understand each other where we are? Like, for example, in Mage, you know, when I'm gonna go through the gauntlet, what it is gonna be like? Do we have to narrate that, and or we already goes to the Umbra? And now, what's the difference in narration between Umbra and High Umbra? Does it have a look? Does it look like something? Does it have to? And at the end of the day, you know, what I start to realize is that it's not important, you know, because what you do is it's basically you just go there and you start to narrate what it looks like, and it looks the way it looks for you, and that other person's gonna describe something else. And now all the other world's structure, you know, of course, like in World of Darkness, the High Umbra, the Middle Umbra, the Low Umbra, they give you a little bit of concept of how it is and what it is. And the Shadowland, especially, like with the maze and the Tempest and all that, you know, they give you cues, so you have a narrative structure you can follow. But still, when you are in play and you deal with these narration and these moments where you go through all these places and stuff, basically all you do is you start describing yourself going there, and you start describing how it feels and how it looks and all that, and people understand, oh, you're not in reality anymore, and they just follow along, right? And you end up, and you can inject all the crazy stuff. So that's why I think that for me these realms are great for gaming, you know, because it's places where you can just be free with your imagination. You don't have to respect the laws of physics whatsoever, and you can inject all kinds of symbolism into your game. But how do you do that? You know, how do you deal with these two main issues I'm just discussing right now, like the issue of shared narrative spaces where people don't see it the same way. Now, since they don't see it the same way, sometimes they don't understand each other when it comes to describe it and to express it. And the logistic at the table. If you don't have much time, you cannot run separated sessions, and it might gonna be a problem to deal with the blue book method. So do you just take your time and play and do it fast, or you just don't care, or you have a special trick? And anyhow, I'd like to know. So let me know how you guys deal with that. Personally, the group I play in, and together we decided to do some kind of a half of a blue book, you know, blue book method. We're gonna do some in play, some blue book, and some, you know, separated sessions as well. We're gonna take time to do that. Hangout is great for that. You can just, okay, so you want to have a scene, you want to have a Umbra scene, perfect. So you're just gonna meet on Hangout, and we're gonna record this. It can take 35 minutes, 45 minutes. It's done. That's it. See you next game. And I like Hangout for that. I mean, this is so great. You can run, especially with World of Darkness. You can just run a scene. Flavio, one of the member in my in the group I play in, he's big on that. Just running a scene. Let's open the camera, start the camera, and just run a scene. 20 minutes, you know, 30 minutes, and then it's part of the canon. And you know, it's canon. All right, thank you for watching, guys. Let me know how you guys deal with the other worlds. Talk to you soon.